All right, so this is our 1725. This is a stack fold. You'll see this is a CCS, according to the CCS tank up here at the top. These are SeedStar XP Row Units. They are going to be Pro Drive. So we know that they're Pro Drive because we see our Pro shaft up here at the front, as opposed to our chain running from our toolbar back to the individual row unit. We actually have a shaft that runs. That shaft comes from the front and runs down through the row unit here into the row clutch that's here at the back. So once we're here at the row unit, things that we need to look at. The first is going to be our mini hopper. The mini hopper is located right here on the top. Seed flows from the CCS tank through this tube here. It simply goes into that mini hopper. Inside that mini hopper works just like a normal 3-busher hopper was, except it's actually very small. Inside that mini hopper, seed starts to puddle up and it goes into our meter. So our seed meter on this unit, like I said, these are Maxi-Merge row units. So it's on this Maxi-Merge row unit, the first thing we're going to see is our seed plate dome. Here we're going to see, since this is set up for soybeans, we're going to see our wiper. If we were set up in a corn configuration, we would simply pop the wiper out as so, pop in our knockout wheel. That is one of the enhancements that it came with the new row units. One thing to remember from wear items is this rubber seal. If this rubber seal is not sealing properly against the plate, we will not maintain proper vacuum and will not get proper seeding rate. So things to remember is, we'll make sure we've got our rubber seal in properly, that if we're using soybean plates, we have the wiper, and if we're using our Pro Max 40 corn plates, then we're using the knockout wheel. So we're simply going to push the dome back behind us, which actually now takes us into the actual seed meter. So here at the seed meter, this is going to be our seed plate. So we simply disengage our seed plate by turning our knob, and once we turn the knob, we'll see that our seed plate comes off. When we're looking at a seed plate, things to remember at the top, it is going to tell us which crop we're on and tell us what seed plate we're actually using. Like I said, this is going to be our soybean seed plate. If we were working with a Pro Max 40, we would simply see 40 single holes listed out, and that Pro Max 40 is the flat plate. So it does not have any sails like our soybean plate does. All right, we're going to set our plate down. Next thing we're going to look is on the inside of the actual row unit. We're going to see our individual brushes. So we've got our long brush and then our single notch brush here. What these brushes are actually going to do is make sure that we're maintaining not only proper vacuum, but we're actually knocking those seeds off. So from a schematic standpoint, seed comes into the mini hopper, feeds through the hopper, and comes in and makes our seed bowl right here. So from that seed bowl, seed is then going to get picked up. As it gets picked up on the vacuum, carries around on our plate, comes through, our vacuum exists here, then our seed simply falls down through here. Now, since we have the meter at this point, if you need to change the torque on the meter, we simply pull the pin out. We can twist that hub. That's going to change how tightly we pull the plate in and out from it. One thing that's important is if our plate is too tight, the plate will not turn smoothly and we'll actually get excess wear on the plate. If it's too loose, we're actually going to see seeds start to leak out around the meter. So it is important that we maintain proper hub tension. Once that hub tension is set, we should be able to spin the meter freehand and it make about a half a turn. So as far as our meter goes, gets us the basic ideas of the way that's going to look. One thing I want to show you is what it looks like when we actually pull that meter out. So at that point, we're going to disengage the mini hopper. We've got the dome taken off. Over here on the right hand side, right here, we're going to see our clutch. So to disengage our clutch, we simply turn this gold knob. Once we turn that gold knob, we can take our Pro shaft out and actually remove that shaft from the individual row unit. So now you'll see our Pro shaft is out. We'll also see our sensor here. It's actually going to our row clutch, and we can disengage that harness right here. So now the row unit is completely disengaged from the planter. At this point, we push down the silver lock, pull the top up, and pull the hook up. So from there, we're actually going to grab the row unit, lift it up, and it will come away and away from the planter. Now it gives us a really good option to get a good look at the way the meter looks from both sides. Again, this is our clutch. We know that this unit is equipped with row clutches because we have a sensor at the bottom and we plugged in with our Pro shaft at the rear. So to get you a good look at what that Pro shaft looks like, you'll see our Pro shaft enters here, and this is actually what the shaft looks like when it's been disengaged. Also on the side of the meter here, we're going to see our doubles eliminator. Doubles eliminator is adjusted here. We simply flip the notch up and adjust it forward and rear. So one of the things that the double eliminator is actually doing, so our double eliminator is listed on the inside. As we move it up and down, you make it more and less aggressive. What the double eliminator is actually doing is exactly what it says. Is as that plate turns, the more aggressive it is it actually knocks more or less seeds off the plate. When we're running in a soybean configuration, we want that double eliminator pulled all the way up. We're running our Pro Max 40 in a corn configuration. We need to make sure that we adjust our double eliminator so that we get proper singulation. As we set our meter down, one thing we want to look at is how the tube looks. So now we have access to our seed tube right here and our seed tube sensor. Our seed tube sensor is going to be right here. Many times when we're planting, one of the things that happens is we think we're having issues with the way the planter is actually functioning, when it could be something as simple as the planter seed tube needs to be cleaned. We would simply remove the meter, take our seed tube brush, run it down here, and make sure that our sensor is good and clean. Do remember on these particular units, seed tube sensors are microwave sensors, so there's not an eye there for it to actually see, but it is important to keep those things clean. Down at the bottom, we're going to see our seed tube where it actually dumps here at the bottom. We want to make sure that if we're running seed firmers or any other type of tools at the bottom, that we're not impeding seed flow out of the seed tube, and that at the bottom we've got that our metal to make sure that we're protecting our seed tube. One thing to remember at the rear, this will be our depth adjustment for our planter. These are 1/4 inch increments from side to side. So remember that T-handle will not only go front and back, but it also can go in 1/4 inch increments up and down. This is going to be our depth. One common misconception is if I want to plant deeper, I'll simply air the airbags up more. That's not the way we want to get deeper into the ground. To get deeper in the ground, we will make sure we do our depth adjustment here. At the rear of the planting unit, this is going to be our closing wheels. So we want to make sure that if we want to increase pressure there, that we adjust this tree handle as so. Since we don't have pneumatic closing wheels, we just simply have a 3-position load sensor here. At the front of that row unit, this is going to be our PDF airbag. These bags will air up according to our sensor, according to what we set up in the cab. Our normal run pressure for most of our soil types here is going to be between 100 and 175 pounds of pressure per bag. And that kind of gets us some good information about the individual row unit. Again, this is our seed delivery, and this is going to be our vacuum delivery. So it's always important to remember that there are going to be 2 hoses run to each individual row unit. As far as the change that you're going to see here, since this is a 1725 stack fold, this is going to be our variable rate drive motor. It is fed by a chain that then feeds the rest of the bar. One thing to remember on the Pro Drive is though, what makes it Pro Drive is the shaft. Many times when we see the chains, we assume that it's not variable rate drive. The chain is simply driving a shaft that then feeds the Pro Drive shaft. And I think that's everything on the row units.